Continuing on from the bottom side of the bracket, we do have Iquita and Stupendous getting ready to go here in the Capcom Pro Tour for the North American West. Vicious back at it again with Ultra David. We hope you guys have been enjoying all the matches because we've been talking about it nonstop, even after the break, even during the break, sure. I should say. We're just going wild. And for a very good reason, right? All these players extremely talented, as we can expect from the Capcom Pro Tour. Iquita versus Stupendous. We kind of preface this with the characters. Let's see again where they're at and where they're going to face off afterwards, right? Between these two, they have to face off against Mortzy. We'll see how that happens. And then, of course, Alex Myers and Commander Jesse going up and seeing who faces on Rambro in round 2.
Very interesting character path right there. Iquita versus Stupendous. That's probably going to be Dhalsim and Zangief. Maybe Boxer? I guess we'll see. And then Fang, an unusual 3. Pretty cool that we're seeing as much as we are. Maybe I shouldn't say that Dhalsim's unusual. There's 3 in this top 16, for example. Very well represented.
Is that a West Coast thing, David?
The Dhalsim?
Yes.
I mean, there's great Dhalsims in the East Coast as well. There's great Dhalsims in the UK and Europe. There are great Dhalsims in Japan. There are Dhalsims all over the place. I'm telling you.
Nobody talks
I don't want to upplay this character, but
that's what I was waiting for. Yeah, I mean, like Arturo Sanchez, also one of the leading Dhalsims on the East Coast as well, doing an amazing work. Actually, still getting within like top 3, even taking down some tournaments. And he also just played in sets not too long ago. I mean, he's still putting in the work, man. That old man can play.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no reason to expect it otherwise. I mean, at CPT Japan the other day, there were how many players in their 35th through 39th and 11 months age, almost at the big 40 where they people can keep playing for a long time. All right, let's see what these players have to say. We got the quotes ready to go, lined up for you. We have first up, TGZ Iquita. Next match is definitely not one to miss. My opponent is very skilled. An exciting match, to say the least. And he also says, Dhalsim player inspired by young art.
That's what I'm talking about. That wasn't even intentional.
It wasn't. We hadn't talked about it, but that's what he wants you to know. He also says, we need more people to love Sim. Well, I'm very happy that I could be on commentary for this. You know, I love the character. I've been playing grapplers and zoners dedicatedly for a dozen years. I'm super into this.
I feel like this is a huge internal conflict for you because this two of your former favorite characters, right?
Yes.
Let's take a look at what Stupendous had to say going up into it. Iquita needs to apologize for playing that character. It's so strange.
Dude, by the way, 9 years ago was when this picture was taken. I saw him talk about it on Twitter. This is a picture from quite some time ago. I like it. Ooh, young Stupendous.
Is that 9 years ago?
That's what he said.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all because we've only known him as long-haired Stupendous. That was when he was around for Street Fighter 4. I feel like that's a fake picture. that is a current picture, not 9 years ago. That is him currently because he donated all his hair.
Is that so?
That is true.
Wow.
He donated all his hair. I don't believe you, Stu. Don't lie to us.
How about that? Yeah, as far as the match.
Didn't donate it to me, but.
No.
Clearly not. Must be nice, David.
Yeah, it is pretty nice, actually. Thanks, buddy.
Iquita versus Stupendous. Dhalsim versus Zangief. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, it is a tough matchup for Zangief, if that's what he goes with here.
Right.
It's hard for Dhalsim. It's hard for Zangief, I should say, to just get in. I mean, it's the exact matchup that you would think it is, right? It's Dhalsim controlling space for the most part. It's not just that. He's got good pressure if he needs to make it happen. He can definitely do stuff up close, too. And Zangief's V meter is really dear to him. He'd rather not do a V shift to try to get a knockdown, which is possible in some situations. If you call out a limb, you can do that. But again, that's dear to you. The trigger mix-ups are so strong and important, the damage out of that. Did he go with Geef?
Seth
Okay,
is the choice. Okay.
Yeah,
so we kind of dismissed this character in the wheelhouse of options that Stupendous has, but he's been grinding it out with this character as well. Made a ton of top 16 appearances when Seth was prevalent. However, it's been a whole different story since then. I have not really seen too many Seths running rampant nowadays because of the significant changes that Seth received. But the fact remains that Seth is still kind of the same character without dive kick.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Also, I guess the situation I have to throw is a little bit worse. Like, there's a couple of other things. Yeah. But certainly still a legit character. One of the better ones. However, even before, I thought that Dhalsim had a lot to say in this matchup. So we'll see if Stu can get in. He's threatening to move in there. Oh, I love the slide to get out of dodge.
So far, it's been pretty back and forth. Stupendous has had a pretty solid encounter with Dhalsim so far. Not really threatened by the long-range normals as much. Has made his way into close quarters a good amount of times and already, forcing Iquita to go into that trigger off the slide.
Couple plus frames here. The cancel from last season. Love it. Oh, look at the hit, though. That was so sick.
Very smart. As long as it hits, you could go into the rest of that V-trigger.
Beautiful from Stu. What a walk back. He's got super. And he's
going to spend it without a doubt. Hekatonkeries into the critical art. That's going to be more than enough, I feel like, even with the scaling. Because you're still in trigger. Extra damage. Mumra has been defeated.
Pretty consistent forward movement from Stu. And even though he got knocked out, oh boy, huge start, the Linkity. Oh no!
He tried to go for a reset. He could have easily gone into the Mad Cradle, but opted to go for a throw, possibly to push Iquita further into the corner, but out he goes back into this mid-space game. Not going to let Stupendous jump back in for free again, but he doesn't need to if he gets the back throw.
Still stuck mostly in the corner here is Iquita. That orange bar still pretty high.
And again, the dive kick placement has been pretty on point for Iquita, allowing him to continue that pressure. The stun is slowly going away, but doesn't really need to...
Oh, no! Gigantic call out from Stupendous. It was a big call out on the Fierce for Iquita, 2 at a risk.
The damage! One more touch, any frame trap can kill Dhalsim.
Oh, no! That was actually a bummer for the V-reversal. And here's...
Oh, this is tough. Yes, plus frames, you cannot move. You're not allowed to. But... I feel like he did not have V-reversal at that moment. So YHC, oh, excuse me, I was reading the name. Iquita, not YHC Mochi, was stuck in that checkmate scenario.
Yep.
That critical art was coming out regardless.
Yeah, no, that was a bad spot to be. I mean, conceivably he could have teleported back, I guess, but that's not the decision that he chose. He tried to challenge. I don't think it said counter hit. I think he just tried to do something.
Tried to move.
Yeah, he just
100% tried to move.
Yeah. So, you know, it was an unfortunate call for him. Consistently, the forward movement from Stupendous, including big jump-ins, big just roundhouse jump-ins have been huge for Stupendous to start things off here. So that's something Iquita's got to be looking for here. Yeah, you see him very, very much more focused on anti-air so far. Still
jumping in as a choice of closing the gap for Stupendous, but Iquita...
I mean, you got to do it sometimes, and especially with that or the mix-up of that or that right there.
Yes,
that's going to be gigantic. And okay, Stupendous with the knockdown into the corner. But you can see Iquita is definitely more focused on the anti-air.
Ooh, trying to get that back throw. Iquita just trying to claim some space, teleporting out just a little bit. Ooh, and such a deep angled dive kick to maintain that offensive pressure. Stupendous is now on the back foot, but any solid hit? Oh, I take it back. Iquita taking the round with that back throw and a good amount of meter to boot.
We saw a few down strongs from him that really shut Stupendous down. So he is looking at that. That said, Stupendous is still looking at Dhalsim's offensive options. A little bit too far for the rest.
Yep.
Oh! Juggle, no, it didn't quite work. Oh, it actually worked out better. Oh, no, Stupendous in trouble.
Perfect.
Look at the damage.
Even better than trying to get a juggle. You got a full reset? I like that from Iquita.
Oh, that's still going to work.
Yeah, it still works. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You thought it was your time to move? No, sir. Still had trigger on deck.
Oh, he could have had a juggle. Would have been super sick. And there it is, plus frames. Iquita gets it and ties it up 1-1. So the inclusion of more anti-airs as well as more offensive play from Iquita really got that going for him.
Mm-hmm. And we see kind of how much more aware he is, how much more aware Iquita is against Stupendous' options of going forward, right? Not letting him get any of these jump-ins going. A lot more reliable on anti-airs, even air-to-airs, if anything. And, of course, I do like the offensive pressure that Iquita has been presenting, right? With those dive kicks and starting to really lay it on Stupendous and implementing these throws at certain times. Has been getting the best of Stupendous so far.
Here's the offense you were talking about.
Checking with a low medium kick afterwards. Stupendous trying to find a way out. But again, that crouching medium punch, Iquita has been so on that. Not afraid of any air approach whatsoever. That's the closest stun.
Overhead low. There's the low. Stupendous called it out. There it is again. You could see him standing up. He was looking for jump back jab. And Iquita goes to match point with the full golden bar.
I like that. Big, perfect, big momentum for Iquita. 2 in the third for the bars down below, slowly building up that critical art. Stupendous.
All right, the jacket was weighing him down. You had to take it off.
That's exactly it. No sunglasses so you can see better. Ooh. Great stoppage there from Iquita again with the anti-airs. Great choices being made. V-shift out and the V-break to follow suit.
Great defensive choice from Stu. Turns it into offense. Could have had more.
Oh. Great interruption there. Down jab, reclaiming the space. EX
Not
Mad
gonna
Cradle,
work, yeah.
Big trade-off for Iquita, but for how long? That throw, a good amount of great damage on there as well. Ooh.
You can see Iquita trying to find a moment to get V-Trigger 2 out on the second side. It's not there yet. Here it is, hanging
tough.
out.
Yes,
Just a little bit of a caught right there.
Oh, this is huge. Yeah, big confirm from the side of Stupendous, catching Iquita, moving backwards. The low forward just within range.
Man, he was right. The jacket really was weighing him down. It's match point now for both.
Ooh, just kind of missing the media. I think that back roll again this time. That setup for Iquita. EX Hekatonkery is moving towards the corner. Big meaty stand short to get this sequence. Yes, sir. Build that bar.
Absolute domination so far for Stupendous, and Iquita in big trouble.
Another throw, any sort of touch will do it. Critical art is a factor, but that's one V reversal out.
Yeah, that means no trigger, surely. And it's going to mean Iquita is out as Stupendous takes it 2-1. The jacket was it. He solved his own problem. Yep, he just had the freedom to move after that, you could see. Look, the anti-air focus I really saw in game number 2. We saw a little bit of it still in game number 3, but that did not dissuade Stu from still jumping in. And a huge moment, a huge key moment in that match was when Stu jumped in with the jump roundhouse and it actually beat Dhalsim down medium punch. That was... I mean, there's a specific spot where that works. It clearly does work, though. And that really began the snowball in that last round that ended up doing it for Stupendous.
And so we saw the offensive capabilities from both players, but it just seems that Seth's is just a little bit better, allowing Stupendous to eliminate Iquita, moving on into that top, 12 now. He's going to be facing off against Mortzy.